Hey fellow hobbyists, today I'm starting part 1 in our Christmas light shows for first timers series. This series is intended to give a simplified approach toward your first light show. In this series we're going to show you how to take your house, add a computer with some software, a little networking gear, a pixel controller, some displays, and additional pixels in order to create your first light show. What's a little unique about this series is I'm going to take you in a chronological rather than topical approach. There's a lot of really good information out there. Some of my favorites that I used to get myself started were people like Dr. Z's, The Hookup, and David over at Learn Christmas Lighting. These guys have a ton of great information if you ever need to go into more detail and really help me get started. But a lot of that information is very topical. So what I want to try and show you guys is a more chronological approach. Well, every good project starts with a good plan, and the best way I've found to plan out my light shows is using a free software package called xLights. You can download it from xlights.org. They have a version for each of the major operating systems. This tutorial will be given from the perspective of the Windows version, though they're all pretty simple. I won't detail the installation here. Download the file, install it, and if you need help, there's some instructions here. Once your installation is complete, go ahead and open xLights. It should open to a screen like this, though you may be prompted to select a show directory if it's your first time opening the application. Show directory is simply the location where it's going to store all of your files and create its own working directories. Once you've selected that show directory, you should see the application open to the Controllers tab. We don't really want to worry too much about the controllers right now. We're in our early planning stages, so we're going to go to the Layout tab. On this Layout tab, something that's very helpful to do here is to go ahead and load an image of your house. It will greatly simplify planning your light show. To load an image of your house, simply go to Background Image and hit the 3 dots. That'll open a file system browser that will allow you to go pick the image of your house. Now once you've loaded this image, you can use your mouse wheel to kind of reposition it, enlarge it, or center it where you want it to be. Some notes on the image. I find it a lot easier to work with and see the LEDs if I have a grayscale image. You can use color, but it makes it a lot harder to see what your light show will actually look like at night. So I recommend using a grayscale image and then just maximizing the size of that so that it at least takes up the full either height or width depending on the aspect ratio of your house. Notice the save button down at the bottom. I hit this frequently. Basically every change you make, you got to hit that save button. It'll change colors when there's a change to be saved. With our house loaded, we can now start to plan how many lights we want and where we might want them. Keep in mind for your first LED show, you're going to want to keep this pretty simple. So let's load a few of these. These are Christmas light displays. They're predefined in xLights. To place one, you just click on it one time and then click and drag the shape that you would like. So we'll put a few of these mini trees in, and just like any good Microsoft program, you can Control-C, Control-V to paste these. So let's make a few of these. So I've got 3 mini trees, and then I'm going to add single lines. You'll use this one a lot. If I know I'm going to make a lot of single lines, I can double-click the object. It'll go an even lighter shade of gray, and that means that I can just keep placing lines without having to click it each time. And so since I know I've got a few to put around these windows, I'm going to leave it double clicked so that I can just keep going with these. Obviously this is a 2-dimensional picture. The windows are going to be behind the tree. But during your actual light show, that won't be as much of an impediment to seeing the lights as you might think it would be. Now remember, for your first show, we want to keep the LED count fairly small. That simplifies the programming, it simplifies the wiring, it lowers the cost. It really helps you get introduced without an overwhelming amount of work, confusion, and frustration. Go ahead and hit save, and that has saved my preview layout. We will get into what all of these numbers down here mean, what you need to set them to, how to use them, how to figure them out, but a lot of that will be for our next episode in this series. For now, congratulations, you have downloaded xLights and put in your first few displays and are well on your way to programming and planning your first Christmas light show. Thanks for watching part 1 in our series of Christmas light shows for first-timers. Come back for part 2 and we will go over some important terminology and calculations that you'll use while planning your light show. Also, here are some key links that will help you along your journey. Good luck, see you next time.